Hi. It's Tina from CNC Designs. Happy Friday, everyone. I definitely did not post tonight, so we'll see who comes on. But it is Late Night Crafting with CNC Designs. And we are continuing our Christmas crafting tonight. So if you pop in and you see that red live button above my head, that means you have caught me live. Please stop and say hello. If you do not see that red live button, that means you're catching me on replay. In either case, please drop in the comments hello so that I can be sure to say hello back to you. Let me see if I can do some housekeeping. You know the drill. Turn down the computer, see if I can find us live. Hi, Miss Patterson. How are you, friend? How's it going? Happy Friday to you. Let me see if I can find us. How's your day been, Miss Patterson? I hope it was well. It is cold here in New York tonight. The wind is howling out here. And happy Halloween, by the way. I don't celebrate Halloween, so I always forget to say that. Let me see. Why can't I find us tonight? I think I have located us. Okay. So we're going to be working on some ornaments tonight. We're going to be working with this ornament. It's one of those acrylic ornaments, and I've gone ahead and base coated it with some Waverly plaster. And this is what it looked like when we started. I found this awesome printable of the 3 Wisemen. And they actually are people of color, so I definitely want to do this. And this is one of those Dollar Tree stove covers. They come, I think, 2 in a pack, and this is the larger one. So we're going to be turning that into a jumbo ornament tonight. I've gone ahead as well and base coated that with the Waverly plaster paint as well as our ornament. So while we're waiting for our heat tool to heat up, let's put some Mod Podge on here so that we can get the smaller one started. I have created my printables in several sizes, and they are slightly different. The Wisemen have different outfits on, so we're going to be using one of these on this one and the larger one on the large round ornament. I love these because they are some melanin Wisemen. Hello, Linda. How are you? Thank you for joining us. Let's see if we can get some Mod Podge onto this piece. And so I've got this ornament nicely coated with some Mod Podge. Let's see if I have my spray bottle, but I do like to spray my printable, if I can, with a little bit of water in the back just to kind of move those paper fibers around. I got a lot of junk on this table, y'all, so I got to turn this around slowly before everything is on the floor. So I'm just going to put a couple of squirts of water on the back of this printable just to make those fibers a little bit easier to work with. This one is, I'm not going to get a completely smooth lay because I am working around some corners and rounded surfaces. So I just have to play with it a little bit just to try and get it to lay as wrinkle-free as possible. I'm going to take a little piece of wax paper and try to mold it that way so that the printable won't stick to my hands. loving this already. I could have slid it over a little bit more, but we're gonna work with it just the way it is. I'm gonna put a little bit here under this end. Let's move that down. That's what we have. And I just heard our heat tool go off, so I'm gonna try to put this one down using this heat tool. Now I don't know how that's gonna work with this tin, but we're gonna ready to figure it out. Hi Sandy, how are you? Thank you for joining. As I stated earlier, this has already been base coated with some Waverly plaster paint, and I have some Mod Podge on top. This is one of those Dollar Tree stovetop covers, and we are making an oversized ornament with our Wisemen printable. Thank you for those hearts. So I'm going to put this down, and I am going to lay my Teflon sheet over it and hope that I can get it to lay down with some heat, and it won't be so hot that I can't pick it up when I'm done. So how is Halloween for those of you who have littles or grandkids? Did anybody take anybody trick-or-treating today? I didn't see a lot of children outside trick-or-treating, but what I did see here in the city are a lot of businesses. And like in my building, for example, rather than people go door-to-door trick-or-treating, the tenants chipped in through the Tenants Association and bought candy, and they have candy bags, and there were people down giving out candy in the lobby tonight. So I guess that's to avoid people going door to door, because you know sometimes that can get a little scary. Hello Angela, hello Renee, hi Carla. Thank you all for joining. That's very nice. We got a nice good lay here. I'm just gonna let that cool for a sec because it is hot. And here is our smaller ornament, which I love. I love the way this came out. I'm definitely going to be applying a gloss sealer over this. I think I'll probably be using some Duraclear or either my other favorite sealer, which I don't have it on the table, but I'll show it to you guys in a few. I want to also add some decorative decor around the sides on both of these ornaments. I'm thinking maybe some clay molds around the side of this bigger one, but we'll see. I do have this decorative trim here. It's like a rose gold kind of print, and I was thinking to go around this ornament with that, like this. But I don't know if I'm going to leave it rose gold. I may use some rub and buff and try to tint it, make it a little bit more gold than it is. I do want to try and apply a little bit of dark wax here as well. So let's see what we can do for that. I have some Waverly Antique Wax here. I also have some Van Dyke Brown Antique and Glaze here. Let me just see if I can get some plain white wax just to move it around. 1 second, guys. Okay, so I have some clear wax here. And I do have my varnishes, which are Duraclear and Liquitex. I want to see if I can try and put a little bit of clear wax, because if I put the antique and glaze on top of that, I do want it to be able to move around some so that it doesn't go on too thick. So let's see what we can do here. I'm starting on the sides and the edges first, just so that it doesn't completely mess up my piece, in case I don't like the wax. Hi Deb, how are you? So now that I've done that, I'm gonna wipe it back a little bit with the paper towel. Because hopefully that will allow the other glaze to move a little bit more smoothly over my piece. I'm gonna do the same thing on the back. I love these acrylic ornaments. I picked mine up at Michael's because you can paint them and do so much with them and really turn them from something that's pretty plain to something absolutely gorgeous. I'm good, and yourself? Okay, so I think we definitely have enough wax on here that hopefully if we apply this glaze, it will move around smoothly over the piece. And it's pretty dark. I don't want too much. Just need to figure out what kind of brush I'm gonna use with this. I want to try and find something that has some pretty soft bristles, nothing too hard. This one's kind of soft. So again, I'm going to start in the back just because I don't know what this is going to look like. And I'm just adding a little bit back here, and I want to wipe it back because I don't want it to be so dark, but I do want to give it a tint. I like that. You see how that glaze is coming out over top? Let's put a little bit here. Now pretty cool. And I also want to put this glaze on because I don't want it to look like I just stuck a piece of paper onto the piece. So we're gonna definitely try and have trick-or-treaters there tonight. It's cold here. I was just saying, here in my building, well, in my apartment, we didn't have any trick-or-treaters, but the tennis association did a collection and all the tenants chip in to purchase candy, and they give out candy in the lobby. So we don't get them actually coming to the door. I'm gonna try and put a little bit of this glaze onto the printable itself. Yeah, cross your fingers and I hope I don't regret that one. Actually, I think we did good. We did good, guys. I like that. That is really, really nice. I like the way this is looking. Let's see, it looks like I got a little bit too much white here on this corner. And now that we have most of it over, now I'm going to go around these edges and Just darken them up just a little bit more. Nice. I'm trying to blend this in so that it doesn't look like we just stuck that printable up there and forgot about it. And that helps that to really happen. So now it looks like this is all purposely and nicely blended in. Definitely doesn't look like it's just a piece of paper anymore, a round piece of paper that we cut out and stuck here. And that's what we're going for. I'm gonna put a little bit more up here on the top. Even though we might probably put a bow or something up there, you may not see it as much, but we want the whole piece to look finished. Did you have a lot of trick-or-treaters tonight, Deb? I feel like in New York, they definitely don't trick-or-treat the way they used to. When my kids were little, or even before, definitely not when I was little. When I was little, this was a big thing. We went trick-or-treating everywhere, to everybody's house. Okay. What do you guys think about that? I love that. I'm thinking we might, I don't know, I might leave this one plain and I might put something in the back on another piece, because I plan on making a couple of these. And I do have some stickles. Thank you. And I'm thinking to put a little bit of that just around, not the whole piece, but just in certain areas, just to give it, again, another, just to bring it up another notch. All these things take it from looking like something you bought in a discount store to something that was very artfully done. And that's what I like. So you can see those stickles. Hopefully you can see those stickles around the edge. I didn't put it all the way around, just in certain areas. Wow, 100. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of candy. I'm gonna try to put a little bit of heat on this. Stickles does take a little longer to dry. So I'm trying to put a little heat on it so that I can speed up that drying process and I'm not spreading that glitter all over the place. Okay. So now I want to look at, like I said, I have this trim. I'm not crazy about the color, but I do like the design. So I'm thinking to put a little bit of that around and then maybe try and disguise it a little bit with some rub and buff. Tone that rose gold color down. I don't have any gold in this. If I had this piece in gold, that would probably work best. I'm just gonna take it all the way around. It's definitely gonna be something I hang up on the tree, so it doesn't matter if I take it all the way around. And this has a sticky back to it, which is really good. I don't have to fuss too much with figuring out how I'm going to apply it and trying to get glue in there and keeping the glue from oozing out. So that's one good thing I like about this trim. I think I got this from Amazon. I know it definitely comes in a roll that's this wide because I cut this in half. So now we've got that. It doesn't look bad with this rose gold, but I don't really like it. Not the color I'm going for. My tree this year, I told you, is going to be in a lot of those traditional red, greens, blue, and a little bit of gold. So I'm going to try and put some Rub and Buff on here. Or maybe, let me try my favorite gold paint first. Hi Kelly, how are you? Thank you for joining. Let's see what this paint does to it. If that doesn't work, then we can put some Rub and Buff, or maybe we'll just do a little of both. It definitely is toning it down some. You can see. I'm not absolutely thrilled about this color just yet. But I'm sure that we can make it work. Okay, I do think I'm going to take a little bit of that Rub and Buff and see what that does. Maybe that can tone it down even more. I like to apply the Rub and Buff with my finger because, I don't know, I just feel like I have more control with my finger than I do with the brush. What happened to my dark wax? So let's be clear. Let me try and clean this Rub and Buff off my finger. Oh, here is my dark wax. Okay, so that's what we have now. Now it's looking a little more gold and much less rose pinkish gold. And where's my top? Here's our top. Definitely need to get some color onto that. I don't want that to stay that bright gold. I mean bright silver. So I like to first just take this gold and dab over it. And try to put a little bit of heat on that. And then let's go back in with some Rub and Buff and try to get it to a gold tone that we like. Not that you're gonna see this that much, but I know it's there, so I like to try and color these things as well. Now let's see. There we are with our top on it, with our gold trim. I'm thinking about doing something in the back. I may just do some splatters and be done with this particular one in terms of the decor in the back. And when I do the next ones, I'll probably put maybe some clay molds in the back. But let's keep moving. Let's go back. I want to see if I can apply some speckles, splatters here. Got a fan brush. Hi, Michelle Pranger. How are you? I'm going to get a little bit of water mixed in here. You guys have seen me do this. Just water it down a little bit. That just helps it to splatter better, I find. And because I don't know immediately what I'm going to get, I don't hold it too close to the piece because I don't want big droplets. Some areas where I want more, I will bring it a little bit closer. Happy Halloween to you as well. Did you dress up today? Anybody dress up in costume today? Today on my job, everybody, I work in a healthcare center and we usually have a Halloween haunted house. We turn the clinic into a haunted house for kids and we give out candy and have all kinds of activities. But this year we didn't have haunted house, and today they gave out candy bags to the children, and most of the girls in the job dressed up as old ladies with their wigs on and their muumuus and their walkers, and it was really cute. Oh, this stuff is messy. Got some nice good splatters here. So let's, you don't dress up? I don't either, but when I go to work on Halloween, if, you know, I try to be a team player, so if the staff, you know, if most of the staff wants to do something, I try to dress according to whatever the theme is. Last year we were all, I forgot, whatever, that there was a kid movie out, it was all about your emotions and it had different characters. I don't know why I can never remember the name of that movie, but that's who we were last year. Hi, Miss Mays, how are you? The other thing you have to be careful about is because these are acrylic, you don't want to get your heat too close to your ornament. But there we have the back with the splatters. So you can really see that when I turn it that way. And then we have our Wisemen. I love that printable. This is gonna be, I'm gonna have several of these on my tree this year. And I'm just thinking, I don't think I want to put anything else there. I do have some of these hangers. I think I showed these to you guys last year. I got them off Amazon. They just kind of click inside. So I will be using one of these hangers. Even though this does have this loop. I forgot what the name of the movie was. My daughter's not here, I can't ask her. But it was like one of her favorites. They loved it. She's a teacher and she loved that movie. So this is our hanger. And I'm thinking, let's see what, I have a couple of options. I can go with this really like soft kind of chenille not chenille, organza kind of bow. I have some lace. I have some gold satin here. I like that gold satin. Let's see. You don't want anything crazy because I really don't want to cover up that printable. I love that printable. So I'm thinking, let's see, just a simple small 2-loop bow. Thank you, Michelle. What that's gonna look like. Don't want these, we don't want our tails too long. But if I do put a bow on here, it's gotta be pretty. Those loops have gotta be standing up. All the pretty sides facing. Okay, I like that. So let's try and get it size proportionate though. Definitely like that. Let's just play around. Let's see. I think my lace is going to be too big, although I really, really like this lace. I think probably on another one, maybe I'll use this lace on the sides or something to that effect, because this is a very pretty lace. I really like that. Let's see about this organza. And this is the perfect color match for that Waverly plaster paint. This definitely does not allow me to move this around as much as the satin. This is not allowing these loops to lay right for me. Now I think I like the gold one better. So I'm going to just, I like dovetails. We're going to try and dovetail this and see what we get. There's our little 2-loop bow. And I'm thinking maybe right here, make this a little shorter. Let me see if we can put a little sprig of some greenery of some sort, maybe. I know I saw some down here in this bag. Just a couple of pieces, because this is not a big piece, so we can't overpower it. So I'm thinking just pull a couple of these pieces off of this spray. I see we've got a little, I don't think that's gonna be too big, but let's see if we can use that. Pine cone. We put this here, or if we put it here, okay, I think we figured it out. Let's turn our heat gun on. Oh, we started with this, Michelle. This ornament. I got these ornaments in a 4-pack. I got them last year from Michael's right after the Christmas sale, when all of these go on sale. So we started out with that, and then we had a printable. I thought I had an extra one over here. Oh yeah. And I just resized it so that it could fit onto the ornament. And that's pretty much all we've done so far with this. We just Mod Podged it on, tried to blend it in so that it wouldn't be so obvious. We used a little bit of stickles around the edges, and we applied some trim. So now we're just doing a little bit more embellishment. You know me and my dark wax. I love dark wax, so I've got to figure out how to put a little bit of that in there. Not too much, but just a little bit, just because that's what I like. So I'm just going a little bit around these corners, lightly dusting with some dark wax just to give it some more texture. Some more color. It's getting better and better as far as I'm concerned. I really, really like this now. I can see me definitely using this Wisemen printable a lot throughout the season. I'm just gonna add a little bit of glue here so we can apply this bow. And I'm thinking I want this bow to sit right here. And this is, you know, I never do anything dead center. I'm struggling already with this. I'm ready to take it off and put it over to the side. But maybe it's because of these tails that's what's making me not like it. That's what we have so far with this bow. I don't like the way these tails are laying, but I don't want these tails so that you can't see my Wisemen. So maybe I need to cut them a little shorter again. And then maybe I'll like it a little more. Okay, I like that better. It's not so obnoxious. And then I want to see, I have a couple of greenery sprigs here. I'm gonna try to pop a couple of those on either side, which is something else that I don't really do, is that whole matchy-matchy kind of thing. I'm definitely not that person. You know what, let me see if I can get another piece of that frosted kind. Okay, we have another piece here. Okay. just looking for placement where it's going to be visual but not so much onto the printable. I want to see it, but I don't want it to overpower my printable. That's cute. And that pine cone is definitely too big, so we won't go with that. I did have some little sprinkles here, and I was thinking maybe a few of them, but I don't know that I need them. This is what we have so far. What do you guys think? I really, really like this ornament. I love the fact that these are melanin Wisemen. I'm not even gonna sit here and act like that is not the most appealing thing to me, because it really is. I'm gonna try and put a little bit of these sprinkles. They're not really sprinkles. I don't know, it's like some, these Dollar Tree sequins. Let's see up here. What that would look like. When I'm not sure how something's gonna look, you guys ever notice I always go in a place where I figure you won't see it as much, because it's easier to rectify when you put it there than it is in some obvious place or a real big area and you're trying to disguise it because you don't like it. I wish I had, should have bought a spoon or something. Probably would have been easier. These things are very, very lightweight. They like literally weigh nothing. So there you see those up there. I was thinking to put a few down in here. I'm not sure if I want to do that. Let me see. I don't have a lot, so it can't be, it won't be a lot sticking there for sure. Not really doing anything for the piece. And because it's glue, I can just take it right off, so that's good. I think we are set with that one. Let me try and get some of this mess up so that it's not all over my floor. Okay, so that is our first ornament for tonight. I love it. She is all decked out. She's got the little splatters in the back. I like this. So that's number one. And our second one is a larger version. If you've been watching me or following me, you know I love big oversized ornaments in my tree. So we have taken one of these Dollar Tree stove covers and we have applied the same, it's from the same ornament pack, but it is a different picture than our Wisemen. If you look at the head pieces, you can see they are not the same, but they all are melanin Wisemen. Love it. I think I am gonna apply a clear gloss over this to give it a little bit more of a shine. And this should blend in really nicely with our tartan prints. I don't think it'll be competing. Let me just show you guys really quick. Another piece that I made earlier that's gonna go on the tree. That's another big ornament. That's a clever way to transform. But yeah, I love these Dollar Tree stove covers. So my tree is gonna be in the tartan print. So it's really not gonna be competitive with it because those colors are running in the outfits with the Wisemen. So I'm excited about this. And this is just the banner that I've been working on. It's a Noel banner. I haven't decided how I'm gonna exactly hang it yet, but I think it's gonna be pretty nice. So let's look at these Wisemen. Now we've put this down with some, we used Mod Podge, and then we used our, oh my goodness. What is this paper called? I forgot, just that quick. Not wax paper, I forget, guys, but you see it. So I am now tasked with how we're going to make this look more like an ornament. I have cut out, this is my little makeshift handle for this, or what, not handle, but ornament topper, kind of, so that it doesn't look so much like a stove cover. Parchment. So I'm thinking to again go back in with our gold paint and some rub and buff if necessary, and try and disguise this cardboard and make it look more like a holder of sorts. We certainly can't, I don't intend on hanging the ornament by this because it is just cardboard, but I do want it to give the impression of a handle. I'm trying to get some of that gold down in here into this cardboard ridges, so that at least wherever you look, you're gonna see the paint and not pieces of cardboard. That's the intention. Just trying to get that all down into those grooves. Let's add some heat on here. Let's put this one over here. And like I said, you guys know I love this color gold because it's not too crazy. And then you can even tone that down a little bit further with a little bit of our rub and buff. So that's what we're gonna do. Because we want subtle gold in our tartan. We don't want loud brass yellow gold. I'm thinking that will go up there. And I'm trying to decide if I want to do the whole wax on this one like we did with that one. I think I'm gonna need to, because again, tartan, the tartan is a little bit moody in that it's not bright, it's kind of dark and subtle. So I want my ornaments to be like that, and this white in here is just a little too white, I'm thinking. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this wax again and try and move some of it around onto my piece, just so I can apply a little bit of dark wax and not get it too dark in areas. This clear wax helps to move that dark wax around. Let's get a little bit more. And it is making my paper, because this is paper, it is making it buckle a little, but I'm not gonna be too concerned about that because it's not coming up off the piece, so that's fine. Let me just put a little bit of heat on here to make sure that that's settled in there. Hi Dana, how are you? Thank you for watching. And you could have easily applied this printable onto the stovetop cover with some with the glue stick. I have done that in the past. I just wanted to put this down with the heat because I really did not want a lot of wrinkles. So I went the route where I thought would produce the least amount of wrinkles. So now I'm gonna see if we use a little bit more of this glaze, and I think I'm going to start down here just because if I don't like it, it might be a little bit easier for me to get rid of it. Oh, this is nice. Okay guys, so let me just show you the difference. So you see down here, this is where our glaze is. Up here it's not. So this glaze is bringing out that detail a lot more for me. I think you can see a lot more of what's happening here and not completely obscure it, but it's just bringing some more texture. And I really, really like that. And you see, it doesn't take much. I'm just wiping little bits here and there, and then I'm moving it around with the paper towel. I'm gonna turn my heat tool on because I want to see if I can get a little bit of those wrinkles out once I get this wax down. Or glaze, not wax, sorry. Yes, I really, really like that. Now you see, you can see that a lot better. It's not as bright. I love it. I love it. And guys, tomorrow I am in an event. I'll be on again tomorrow night at 10. It's an event with the Crafting Network with my friend Jen, who is the creator and founder of the Crafting Network. There's going to be about 30 or so of us over the next 2 days, and this event is all about trees. So I will be creating something tomorrow that has to do with a Christmas tree or a tree of some sort. At this point, I don't know what I'm doing. I'll figure that out between now and tomorrow night. But I am in that event, and I would love for you to come and hang out with me. Just and if you can, come by, stop by, hang out for the day and watch what everybody does. There's going to be a lot of talented creators there. I'm sure you're going to like some of the things you see there, get some inspiration. I'm just going back with the leftover wax that was on my brush, and I'm just going around this edge just to give it some color as well, and to kind of blend all of this in. Love this. Now, I was thinking about adding some of our clay molds around the edge here. I'm gonna see about that. Let's see. I want to see if I can get a little bit more of those wrinkles out. And you just want to make sure when you, especially when you're doing it with this heat tool, you want to get around those edges to make sure, because that's how it's going to really adhere and make the piece lay down. I like to turn it a little bit on its sides just in case there is some bumps in there. That will get it out. Kind of squish that glue out and make it spread out more. Yes. No wrinkles. All gone. Love it. Love it. I'm wondering if I have some molds here. I was thinking about maybe doing some, but I don't know that I really need them. I think this printable is so beautiful that I'm tempted to say I really don't need those molds. I definitely know I need to put this top piece on here so that this looks more like an ornament. So let's get started with that. I may have to actually put some Titebond on here to really seal this, because sometimes hot glue might pop off of here. No, it's not printed on rice paper. It actually is printed on regular computer paper. I print all of my printables on just regular computer paper. So now it looks a little bit more like an ornament. I want to do something with these edges though, for sure. Let's look at our Posca pens. As you all, I'm sure, can have figured out by now, this cutting board right here is the one that I use to paint on all the time, and it's now literally a paint palette. I don't even bother to try and use anything else when I'm working on this board. I just paint right on top of it. It's become that board for me. I'm just going around with my gold Posca pen. Around these edges. I think I probably am going to get out my Tim Holtz and darken them up a little bit more. I don't think I want to put any of my stickles on here. I don't think it's necessary. And if we were going to do it, I would use it more as kind of an accent. Like I see right here in this little bridle, it has like these little dots there, so we can use some stickles for something like that. Put a little bit in that star just to give it a little bit of shine, but not a lot with the stickles, because again, I'm so in love with this printable that I don't really want to take anything away from the actual artwork. But you can see those little stickles in there. Hopefully you can see them. Especially like here, right in here, we have some. Now, let's see what else we're gonna do. I know I need something to cover that, my uglies up over here on the top. But again, I don't wanna cover too much of my printable. So, let's think this through. maybe something like this. Let me see. If we did a swag sort of, no, I don't like that. I'm thinking more here. And maybe some more gold ribbon. Not a big enough piece. Save these for smaller ribbons. Never throw away your scraps. I'm wondering if I leave this long, if I leave these tails long, could I maneuver them around the edge of the actual cover? And give it some more detail and definition that way. Let's see. Let's get these two pieces kind of laying on top of one another so that they're acting more as one piece. Hi, Carol T. How are you? So what do you guys think? You guys like these ornaments we're creating tonight? I'm gonna try and see. I believe I got this printable off of Etsy. It's been a while. I've had it for a while. I'm not really sure. I believe it's probably from Etsy though. I'll look for the link, and definitely if I can find the shop, I will share it with you guys in case you would like these melanin Wisemen. I'm just trying to get a visual of what this is gonna look like, because this ribbon is not wired. When you're working with ribbon that's not wired, you definitely have to maneuver a little. I do have some wired ribbon. I have it in blue. I'm not really sure. I think the blue is gonna be too overpowering. And the green I have, not quite sure if that's gonna work. That's a purple, even though that's very nice, but wrong color for this season. This green is a little, it's green. It's not a evergreen. See what else we have. Let's see. This burgundy is not wired either, so that's not gonna help us. This blue is wired, but is it too much? Maybe not. Let's see. Let's make a bowl out of this and see what happens. I don't need that much. Yeah, maybe we'll keep it long on one side and make it short on the other. So I'm just making a small loop here. And of course you gotta twist because you gotta turn your pretty side facing. Let's make another loop. We gotta twist again because remember the pretty sides have to be facing. That might work. That may work. I can just get these two together, okay? Now I need something to tie this off with. Let's try one of these. Let's try one of these guys. Okay, let's get our loop together. Sometimes it comes together really quick, guys. Sometimes you gotta play around with it. Much better. Now let's try and get this tie in here. Okay. Second time's a charm. Here we go. So I'm just gonna tie this off, knot this in the back so that I know it's not coming out. Just give it one knot back here. Now we're gonna go back up here and see how this is gonna lay in with this greenery. I think I want the greenery this way. So I've gotta tie this on this end. I'm sorry guys that I'm quiet, but sometimes I gotta concentrate, especially with these little thin wires. This is another reason why when most of the time you see me make a bow, I'm always using jute because I can handle it better than these little thin wires that are sometimes hard to grip. Okay, here we go. So that looks a little crazy because we got our tail sticking all kinds of ways, but when we put it down on our piece, it's gonna make sense. I don't wanna cut any edges just yet because I wanna get placement for it. I'm gonna put this up here. I'm gonna try and put this up as high as I can onto this ornament topper because, again, I'm trying to keep it, the view of these Wisemen as unobstructed as I can. I like my long tail, but it's definitely blocking my view a little bit. So I gotta maneuver that around some more. And this is the beauty of the wired ribbon is you can kind of just do almost anything with it. It will bend to your will. And that's why I love it. want to get some, one second, we have here. I'm going to just go around those edges. As you know, it's just not finished for me if we haven't edged our piece off. So I want to look for some sort of brown, or in this case, even maybe the blue might work because we brought in the blue ribbon. Let's try it and see. These are all of my, well, not all of them, but a lot of sand pads, guys. That's what I'm digging in now. A ground espresso in case the blue doesn't work to our liking. I'm going to go here in the back first with the blue, and it is appearing a little bit bright to me on this white, well, not white, but plaster background, so I'm not sure how I feel about that, but that's why we brought the ground espresso out. And that's why we put it in the back, because if it doesn't appeal, we can always go back in with the ground espresso. And I think that that's the route we're gonna go. Now we're talking. The minute I see it go on, I know it. You see that edge there? Much better. Hi Shelly, how are you? Thank you for joining us. So we're gonna just go in and we're going to really define these edges. His little nose there. And then I'm gonna go back in the back where I added that blue, and I'm gonna mix in some of that brown so that it tones that blue down. And I am going to go a little heavier inside in places, just so that it doesn't look like we left this edge unattended, since I didn't apply any clay molding there. I want to do something here, and I'll show you. It's just, we just put some attention there on the sides. So here we are with our second ornament of the evening, and this I am going to attach my hanger. I have these little jewelry bail type hangers, and I'm going to attach one of those in the back, and that's how that's going to hang. But I need to do that with Tite Bond, and I don't have my Tite Bond at the table. So this is our first ornament of the night, our second ornament of the night, and here was our first one. Both made from the same printable group, 2 different styles of Melanin Wisemen, and I absolutely adore them. I hope you really like this as much as I do. I can't wait to see these on my tree this year. I'm so excited to put these on the tree. So I hope you guys come and join me tomorrow night when I will be in an event all about trees. So I'm going to be making some sort of Christmas tree tomorrow. I don't know quite yet, but I'll figure that out between now and tomorrow. I'll be on tomorrow night at 10 p.m. I'll be the last creator in the event for that day. So I hope if you guys are awake tomorrow at 10 p.m. and not busy, stop by and let's see what we come up with. Until then, I'll see you guys. Have a good day tomorrow. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Have a great night. Love you guys. Bye-bye.